too expensive. It's too expensive to leave versus what you would save and the regulations that you wouldn't have to go through and all the bullshit with all the permits and all that. What California does is over-regulate everything. They get as much government involved as possible. They suck as much tax money out of you as possible. And then they still leave the place a mess. They still have homeless people everywhere. It's still a disaster. It's still a woke show of virtue signaling at every level of the government. Still, like, no course correction at all. They're going further and further into la la land. And you're like, Jesus Christ, you guys.
The California storm may have passed, but the heat is far from over, especially from Joe Rogan and Mel Gibson. The two aren't holding back, blasting Governor Gavin Newsom for what they call a major leadership failure. On a recent episode of Rogan's podcast, the pair delivered a fiery takedown, demanding answers and accountability. If you're into bold, no-filter commentary, this episode pulls no punches. Don't miss out, hit that subscribe button, and let's break it down.
The whole state is just so poorly managed. It's so frustrating and confusing, and then he gets on TV and pretends like everything's great. Mm-hmm. And California's the best. We have the best state. We have the most amazing economy. And like, you're out of your mind, dude. You've ruined this state. Like, personally ruined it.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back when he lit into California Governor Gavin Newsom, accusing him of squandering his time in office and turning the Golden State into a cautionary tale. In Rogan's view, California should be a dream destination, a place that draws ambitious people from all over. But instead, he says, folks are packing up and leaving in droves. Rogan himself left the state back in 2020, frustrated by what he described as a toxic cancel culture where one wrong word could cost you everything. But that, he said, was just the beginning. He went on to blast Newsom for wrecking a once thriving economy through what he called poor leadership, impulsive policies, and political theater. According to Rogan, crime is surging, homelessness is everywhere, businesses are fleeing, and taxes are through the roof. In his words, Newsom has become the face of everything wrong with modern progressive politics, more flash than substance, and more ideology than action. And this isn't Rogan's first shot. During the pandemic, he already slammed Newsom's handling of small businesses, accusing him of making things worse with a string of misguided decisions.
No one who is alive today had ever experienced a true pandemic. And I'm hoping that now that this is over, people are going to, recognize that some serious errors were made and not repeat those. That's the best you can get out of it.
So what do you tell those people?
Vote Republican.
Joe Rogan says the breaking point came during the pandemic, and that's when he started leaning away from the Democratic Party. For him, Gavin Newsom's handling of the crisis wasn't just flawed, it was a disaster. Rogan slammed the endless lockdowns, saying they crushed small businesses, triggered a wave of mental health struggles, and did little to stop the spread. Schools stayed closed far too long, depriving millions of kids, especially the most vulnerable, of an education, even when data showed transmission risks were low. And those mask mandates? Rogan dismissed them as political theater, not grounded in real science. He didn't hold back. Rogan accused the left of silencing dissent, ignoring inconvenient truths, and treating open debate like a threat. In his eyes, Newsom was handed a golden opportunity to lead, and instead turned California into a cautionary tale where businesses vanished, freedoms shrank, and lives were turned upside down. To Rogan, the pandemic didn't just show missteps, it revealed something deeper, a culture of control replacing common sense at the heart of progressive politics. And even as wildfires recently engulfed parts of California, Rogan kept the heat on Newsom, refusing to let up.
This guy's like standing in front of all this stuff, and he's got a smile on his face, and he's talking about land use.
The development plans.
Watch this. Play this.
I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
With a big smile on his face. Look at the little wiggle he does with his shoulders. Speculator, watch this. Talking to John. Look at this. Look at this little wiggle. It's excited about the possibilities of speculators coming in. And he's saying, move forward. We're going to move forward on that. These people lost their homes.
Now it's clear why Joe Rogan is urging Californians to consider voting Republican. For him, leadership isn't about camera angles or polished speeches, it's about showing up when it matters most. Rogan recalls how Arnold Schwarzenegger once stepped into the chaos head-on, no excuses, no blame game. He faced the crisis and tried to fix it. In contrast, Rogan says, Gavin Newsom treated California's pain like a political strategy. While businesses collapsed and families struggled, Newsom was seen dining maskless at luxury restaurants at the same time he was enforcing strict mandates and laying the groundwork for a potential presidential run. Instead of leading with courage and grit, Rogan believes Newsom chased headlines and let the chaos crush everyday people. That's what fuels Rogan's frustration. It's not about party lines. It's about demanding real leadership, someone honest, fearless, and truly invested in the people they serve. Because at the end of the day, Californians don't need another smooth-talking politician. They need someone who actually cares.
Gavin Newsom talks about California. He's like, I'm very big on California, very bullish on California. California has all this industry. Hey, they're all thinking about moving. The only reason why they don't move is because it's too difficult to move. If it was like every business could instantly pull up roots and replace everything and have everything running in a week at the other place, they'd all be gone.
Joe Rogan didn't pull any punches. He went after Gavin Newsom hard, accusing him of turning California into a graveyard for small businesses. According to Rogan, Newsom's leadership hasn't just failed entrepreneurs, it's crushed them. He pointed to Assembly Bill 5 as one of the first major hits, a confusing piece of legislation that reclassified freelancers and gig workers as employees. Sounds technical, but for small businesses, it meant soaring labor costs and a legal mess they couldn't afford to navigate. Then came the eye-catching $20 minimum wage. On paper, it sounds like progress, but Rogan says in practice, it drained restaurant budgets, led to mass layoffs, and caused shutdowns across the state, and the hits kept coming. The state's unemployment system, under Newsom's watch, became a fraud-filled disaster. Billions were lost, and now honest business owners are being punished with higher payroll taxes. To clean up the mess, Rogan made it clear, instead of helping small businesses thrive, Newsom buried them in red tape, failed policies, and performative politics. Once known as a land of opportunity, California, Rogan warns, is now the perfect example of what happens when leadership loses touch with reality. And Rogan, he's far from finished.